First off, congratulations on this. An incredibly earnest and racist essay appeared in the New York Times on Sunday. The title is, get this, "Is My Little Library Contributing to the Gentrification of My Black Neighborhood?" Okay, so let me explain this. Have you seen those little bird box library things that people like to, they put them on a stake or a pole and they set them up like this right here, and they set it up in their yard? Like that's one of them. That's what we're talking about. They are, I guess, like mini libraries. I mean, to everybody else, they're just a box of books, but okay, it's a library, sure. Anyway, it's also next to the We Believe yard signs that some people on the left are fond of sticking into the lawn next to the gnomes. Well, if you're not familiar, it's this, because this weird trend hasn't reached your part of the United States yet. It's like a book exchange for neighbors, I guess. I don't know. Because libraries, I guess, don't exist. Where do your tax dollars go? So you take a book about white privilege and you leave a book about white rage. I've seen mostly progressives do this stuff, and it seems very condescending. It's how progressives can feel connected to their neighborhoods without actually having to do things like talk to their neighbors. So here's what happened. There's a black woman in Los Angeles, in Inglewood, who put one of these little bird box, actually it's this way? Yeah, no, I was right. This way, this bird box right here. Put one of these in her lawn in a part of Los Angeles, right? And she's worried about gentrification. And gentrification is code for things like, I don't know, improving tax revenue, moving in. Most commonly, it's just code for white people. So Inglewood has been a predominantly black and Hispanic community in Los Angeles. And apparently the woman who wrote this piece, Erin Aubrey Kaplan, she put up her little bird box library, which is great. She says that she wanted people to read and exchange books. And who doesn't love reading? I don't exchange books because Dana doesn't share. That's socialist. So anyway, that's what she was saying that she wanted in this article, that she wanted to promote book reading in Inglewood. Okay, that's great. So it's really about virtue signaling. That's what these little library boxes are about. So in any case, guess what horrible thing happened to Erin Aubrey Kaplan? No one stole the books. And no one stole the box of books, and nobody burned it down. It attracted white people. That's right. Some white bread crackers walked right up on her lawn and perused her books. So here's what she says she felt when she was violated so harshly. Quote, she says, "What I resented was not this specific couple. It was their whiteness and my feelings of helplessness at not knowing how to maintain the integrity of a black space that I had created," end quote. Now, don't worry, she didn't have hard feelings about this specific couple, just all whiteness. She just doesn't want it on her lawn, the whiteness. Does that make you feel better? I mean, the whiteness that violated her black space. Imagine changing the color around. Imagine that this was a white woman and she said that her white space was violated by blackness when black neighbors perused her books. It's a box of books. Stop calling it a library. Do these people understand how racity McRacist this sounds? Now, in fairness to the author of, I guess it's an essay, she did say that she felt bad that she felt this way, not bad enough to write this long thing about it in the New York Times, but she basically went on to justify that it was okay for her to feel like that. So I don't really feel like she felt bad like she said she did. I mean, after all, I get it. She writes that black people have been historically displaced by people who call themselves Democrats, so it makes most sense to vote for them now. And also, there was some stuff about Jim Crow and gentrification, pushing people out of neighborhoods like Inglewood or LA. Also, maybe talk to your Democrat representatives who run your Democrat city of LA about your Democrat property taxes and why they're so damn Democrat high, but I'll ignore that part. And of course, then she ignores the fact that black neighborhoods in LA have largely become black and Latino neighborhoods because a lot of people are moving to California, moving to the United States. She's missing also the huge upside of gentrification, which is the rising value of her own home. But why let something positive get in the way to an opportunity to complain about those damn crackers? I mean, the writer said this about her mixed feeling of having her black space violated by whiteness. She says, quote, this actually is the thing she wrote, "As I watched the white couple peruse my little library, the most complicated feeling of all was the brief, bittersweet satisfaction I took in watching them drawn to my lawn and to my idea. It felt empowering and hopeful on the one hand, and defeating on the other, end quote. Would it have made her feel better if the white people were like, oh my gosh, we did not know that this was Black owned. We will not touch it. That would have sounded horrible, right? And it would have been awful if she came out and said, this is only for Black people. White people can't read these books. That would have also been awful. Why not just walk out and say hi and introduce yourself and, talk to each other like humans? Like using our vocal cords and our mouths and our words. Isn't that something parents tell kids? Use your words. Instead of creeping on them by watching them like an angry old person on the side of your picture window. What the hell? Now, she also crapped on the Trump people in the article because it's not an op-ed in the New York Times unless someone craps on Trump people. So you can kind of guess. I'm sure she's a fun neighbor. Plus, she wrote that critical race theory is just a boogeyman, even while she demonstrates actual critical race theory in action, meaning she can't accept white people getting whiteness on her precious books that she put out only for her Black neighbors. And she feels violated if white people peruse her books, because all of this, of course, is racism. Those white people were walking by her little mini library, which is nothing more than, again, a box of books with a door, and they decided to touch all of it because oppression. So you'd be canceled for it if you said anything half as racist as a white person, but this, I can't believe this is an actual op-ed that's in the New York Times. They wrote this, published it, and then, my gosh, it tells you kind of how far down into this racialized gutter we've actually descended. Now, this is racial progress, according to the progressive left. I just cannot stop looking at it. It's a box of books. Do we even know what type of books are in here? Like, what is in here? I would put like Cat in the Hat or something fun in there. What are books are in here? Do people not have, libraries are great. When I lived in St. Louis City, we had a great, huge, awesome library. Do you really think that what is this? It's a spider house. That's what this is. This is a place for you to stick your hand in and get bit by a brown recluse and die. And then what's that column going to look like in the New York Times?